Hi guys, Ryu here. Let's continue with the modeling of the gun. We're gonna do the tripod first, yeah? So let's grab a cube and let's scale it on Z. Let's change this to global. And also let me enable my screencast keys. Okay, alright. So let's grab a cube. In fact, you know what? Let's grab all these, okay? And this one. And move them to tripod, okay? So new collection, tripod. And this one too, tripod. Okay. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's organize our scene a little bit. So let's put the top in a scope collection. So let's create collection scope. And let's see how it works for us. So turn off scope. Let's actually add these to a scope as well. So M scope, perfect. And the rest is fine, I think. This could be just a gun. Let's see. So these cubes, all of these need to be inserted into main collection, which is rifle. So let's turn off rifle. And these ones as well. This all needs to be a rifle. So M rifle. And then let's see cutters and new cutters, right? So let's put all of them into cutter collection. And let's just delete the new receiver and new cutters. Let's put the scope on the rifle, tripod under scope, and shift four now is going to be cutters. So shift four, perfect. So let's enable shift 1, shift 2, and shift 3. And in fact, let's disable shift 1 and shift 2 for a second. So we can just focus on our tripod, and let's save our file. Alright guys, let's turn this cube into something sexy. So let's grab this cube here and make it smaller and put it somewhere here. Now let's bring the gun actually back, because you see we need some size reference. Now what I want, let's delete these feeble legs because they drive me nuts, and this needs to be massive because, you know, the gun is massive. So if we're going to sort of copy this and make it, which X is going to be X, right? Something like this. Maybe that's a little bit too thick. Something like this. These legs going to be large. They cannot be too shallow. The angle cannot be too shallow, but cannot be too steep. Like on the other side, could be a little bit steeper. So maybe something like this. Okay, and shorter, but not smaller, shorter. So somewhere here. And maybe the angle should be a little bit more shallow. Something like this. Let me see. Getting these proportions in the start is really important, okay? So let's not rush this. The floor, let's grab a cube, and because I want some reference, let's make it really thin and wide and put it somewhere here. So we have a floor and SXX and make it larger and see. Let's see how we're looking. Yeah, see, this would make sense. Because first of all, the gun's gonna have a recoil, right? So the recoil needs to be absorbed by the back, the legs at the back. So these could be actually longer, right? So something like this. So now we need to make sure that this angle, we can get rid of the floor. This angle is gonna actually match. Because so what I want to create is like a tripod mount from which legs are coming out, and to which also it's mounted this rotation mechanism. Okay, so let's grab this cube and these legs and go to local, and let's tinker. Also, how thick is it? This is a little bit too thick, so we need to make it thinner. Okay, so SY and make it a little bit thinner. It doesn't have to be super thin, but thinner, something like this. Okay, all right. So now what we need is the front and the back. The back needs to be wider than the front, right? Because we're gonna have two legs coming out, which means we're gonna have one leg coming somewhere here, right? And the other leg is gonna be coming from the other side. So if you're gonna mirror and flip it across Y, so we're gonna have something like this, correct? Now these legs also, they need to be at a little bit better angle, so maybe something like that, because you need to remember someone's gonna have to sit inside of it, right? So maybe even wider, maybe something like this. Okay, so does that make sense? Maybe even wider, something like this, and narrower, because they're too thick, even narrower than this. So that's the front one could be actually kind of wide at the front, at the top, and maybe where is it, y-axis, maybe narrower at the bottom, or maybe the other way around. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe the other way around. Maybe both of them, I mean all three of them could be actually wider at the bottom, like this. This could be an idea, and create some cool cuts in them. Yeah, this actually would work. So they could be thinner, but sort of wider, and with some kind of a structure inside. That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay. Alright, so this one needs to be kind of massive, but maybe not too massive. Maybe something like this. So let's go. Let's create some chamfers in here, okay? And before we do that, actually, let's Shift Z. Let's actually apply scale. So go to solid mode, and apply scale. Also, I've noticed that we don't have screencast keys enabled. There we go. Sorry about that, but these were just simple operations, so it should be fine. Anyway, let's grab the this part and this part, these edges, and Control B them and see how we look. And you see now we're gonna have to fix these angles. Okay, so grab the face, go to top mode, and literally rotate it, okay, until it matches the angle. You could hold Control to snap it and literally move it outside like this. It's okay. It's okay. Like that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to mirror it across, right? So we're going to apply a mirror and mirror it across itself, and apply the mirror and remove this edge from the middle so it becomes straight. Now we're talking. So we got the basic shape done. Now we need to take care of the angle, okay? So before we do that, let's think. If it's not too thick, maybe could be thinner on the sides, which means what we could do, I'm just gonna try this, right? Insert this and select the insert one more time. In fact, no, select the outer edges and S, Z, and scale them down. Will it work? No, select the whole face, loop, and do something like this. Well, this looks better. Maybe. Damn, this plate is massive. That's some seriously massive plate. Maybe it's a little bit too big. Or what we could do, let's revert this. So, Control Z. What we could do is, you know what, let's copy this, okay, and M, and put it in junk so we have a backup. Let's grab a cube. Okay, and let's bring this cube here. This is concepting phase, guys. So we are literally live concepting at the moment, okay? Telling you how to do things, it's easy. Showing you how I come up with ideas, that's a whole different level of learning, okay? So now this is learning. It's easy to copy someone. It's difficult to actually think for yourself. And that's what I'm trying to teach you, how to think when you design something. So let's grab this edge, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna move it in here, you see? And you can align it with the gun and see if it's gonna work for us. And we could actually bevel this edge too. So bevel it like this, right? and see if it's gonna work. So select both and control minus, go to side view and see how we're looking. We're looking pretty cool, actually, like that. So let's hide this for a sec and let's see. This is pretty cool. This one's gonna be can be cut as well, to be honest, here. So we could grab another cube and bring it to the front on an x-axis, make it smaller, bring it back and make it even smaller on y. And what we could do is select these two edges, apply scale and control B, and this time let's make a chamfer. Okay, now let's see, let's move it in here and make it bigger and slice it. Will this make any sense? Maybe. Let's expand it a little bit like this. That's pretty cool, I like it. Let's hide it. Oops, not this one. In fact, this is cutters, so let's move it to cutters. So let's get out of the local mode and move it to cutters. Nice. So we got this kind of thing going on. In fact, you know what? We could actually even get rid of this edge here. This one, where is it? This edge. Let's bring the cutters back. So shift fall. And this is gonna be an absolute mess, but possibly we could find it. I think it's this one. Nope, it's not. Which one is it? See, that's why hard ops is so useful, because you can actually recall cutters for a specific mesh, not all of them at the same time. So even if you organize your cutters, this is a very good example why you really want hard ops, because finding a cutter is just a pain. Shift 4 is just too crazy. Let's hide it to cutters. What I want to do is, it's gonna be easier to probably apply this boolean. So apply both of them, and what we're gonna do is simply remove these two edges. That's what I want to do. So the face is a bit more straight. You see, that's better. Now let's actually mirror it to the other side. Apply the mirror. Perfect. Let's save this. Well, let's organize this shape a little bit. So let's move these verts a little bit here. GG. So it's a bit more relaxed like this. Okay. So now let's try to reshape this, okay? So let's add a lattice. And let's make it smaller. Like this. And what I want to do is actually rotate it so you can hold control. And I want to sort of drop it on top of this this shape here, okay? So I need to make sure that the shape is sort of embraced by the lattice, okay? Something like this. Then we're gonna drop a lattice modifier. So lattice, and select the lattice to work with. Click on lattice, this icon here, and let's add, let me see, maybe 5 should be enough. And then let's grab this face and shift 7. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, let's grab this one and shift 7. So in a side view, perfect. Grab this lattice and go to vert mode, and let's see if we can actually curve this a little bit. So G and literally move it down and then rotate it like this. Okay, and then move it down a little bit. Perfect. Now let's select these and literally rotate them down. Now does it work? Kind of. Let's see if it worked how we intended. Maybe we can move it manually later. Let me see how it looks first. So it curves gently down, which is cool. Just hide it. And it's a little bit skewed, but we could work with this. Let me see this. Let's apply the lattice for, you know what, let's actually grab the lattice back, and we could reform it. So we could grab these 4, right? And in fact, more than 4, we could grab all these 3 on each side. Go to front view here, and literally rotate it like this, just a tiny bit. Okay, so hold shift and rotate it back, so it's sort of more or less aligns with this cut. Okay, then let's grab these 4 and rotate a little bit more. So we're going by eye, but that's cool. So you see this shape kind of rotates here. We could in fact grab these and literally move them down. So G, Z, Z, and move them down like this. Okay. How are we looking? We could actually move these 2 a little bit higher. So G, Z, Z, move them a tiny bit higher. So let's hide this and see how we're looking. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. These, let's unhide the lattice. These 2 could be a little bit higher. So these 2, you see, this could go higher. So G, Z, Z, and move them teensy weensy bit higher. So they curve like this. Perfect. And now the only thing we need to do is simply, you can hide this, grab this one, apply the lattice, and then grab this face, and let's go to side view. And in fact, we could just shift 7 this face, and let's see if we're going to be able to select this front face. Yes, we are. Okay, so shift 7, select the front face. It's a little bit difficult to see, and then you can rotate the face down a little bit like this. It's a bit tricky, I know, but it can be done. Now this face gives us a little bit of a groove. There's a, bending in here, but it's cool. We can work with this. So now let's mirror this to the other side and see how we're looking. Just apply it. Yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. We're looking good. All right, let's apply the scale and let's get out of this pass-through thing, and let's delete all this junk because we don't need it. So come on, dissolve edges, and this one too. Let's dissolve all of this because literally we don't need it. So there must be a face inside if you cannot delete it. Let's go to occlude mode and let's see. No, there isn't face inside. It should be deletable. Okay, fine. Let's combine this and then delete it. Whoa. Oh, right. I was selecting wrong edge, and dissolve edges. There we go. Now what we're gonna do is simply get out of occlude mode, pass-through mode, and I want to introduce a little bit of bevels here because I'm thinking about subdividing this. Okay, so select all these edges around. Okay, here and here. Don't have to be on the other side because we're gonna mirror it anyway. And run double bevel on it, okay, like this, right? Double bevel. Now, let's grab these edges. So, with Alt and Shift pressed, all these 3, and run a B-weight edge on them, and let's see how we're gonna look. And then we're going to run bevel modifier, and 3 segments, and bevel weight. And let's shade it smooth and add auto smooth, and then we're gonna get Control 1, in fact Control 2, 2 subdivisions. And let's see, that looks pretty good. So let's grab this face, okay, and angle it a little bit as well, like this. Let's grab this and literally angle it like this. And GG, move it a little bit here, and grab this face and angle it a bit more, and you can even move it down here like this, so it sort of angles down a little bit. Now let's grab a mirror and let's run a mirror through it. So let's add a mirror, and needs to go across, and needs to be above both modifiers, right? We got some grief here, but we're gonna fix this. So let's apply the mirror and let's see what we're dealing with, right? This edge needs to go, that's the first thing. The stretching here on the top is because of sub D, this mesh here being sub D, and not being actually connected. So you could ease it with simply connecting these edges here a little bit. It's a little bit of a manual work, but it's not too bad really. What we could actually do, you know, let's delete this. I have a better idea. Delete this face and simply select these two and run F. So this will create faces. And let's see. So now we got this shape. Let's see how we're looking. We're looking pretty cool, but this shape is just massive, you know, and we could use a bit more control with it. So let's see. So we could run some control loops on this side, grab this and inset it, maybe that deep, and, you know, grab another loop and drop it in here. That looks pretty cool. And we could do the same thing here. So drop another loop and inset it and extrude it and drop a loop in here. There we go. So now let's see how we're looking. We're looking savage. That's how we're looking. Now maybe it's too thick, so we could, you know, make it a little bit thinner like this. You see. Let's move this one to junk, so we're not disturbed by it. Now this angle here is a little bit messed up, right? So we need to fix it. This one is correct, this one isn't correct, which means we would need to fix this. So what we could do is, you know, grab another lattice. So let's grab another lattice. And let's move the lattice in front, but let's make it smaller. And let's move it in here. And it's a little bit too tall. And then we can actually adjust the number of segments to 3. And then we can run lattice modifier on this one. So let's collapse these two and run the lattice and select this. And lattice should be, in my opinion, above everything. So it works on the base mesh, not on the sub-D mesh. So now we can actually select maybe these and simply rotate them like this and drop them down and see how this is gonna work with our leg. I think a little bit more. So what we could do is just simply rotate it more and literally drop it down like this. So I want to match the angle, you see, right? More or less. And this should match the angle, right? It's a little bit too too steep maybe, so bring it back a bit. Something like this should do. So let's see. Yeah, it's pretty good. So now what we can do is we can drop some engravings in this mesh. So, you know, we could just simply go inside it here and literally extrude it inside and create really cool shapes with this. We're getting too deep over there, so we might actually drop these two faces from this equation. So select from here to here, so we're not encroaching on this territory over there. So maybe this many. And again, insert it and simply extrude it inside. And see how we're looking. We're looking interesting. Now let's see. Let's select this face and let's make it a little bit smaller. Whoa. Let me see this again. SZZ, make it smaller. There we go. And now extrude it. That's better. That's what I want. Okay, that's perfect. And we can mirror it to the other side, so mirror to the other side and move this mirror on top of all these modifiers. So lattice gets mirrored. I mean, we don't mirror the lattice because lattice is already mirrored on its own. So that's pretty cool. I like it. So now, since everything is fine, let's apply the mirror on lattice. Do not apply the bevel or the subdivision. Remove this edge, grab this face, Shift D, P to its own selection, grab this face and literally extrude it from the side view. So extrude it down like this. And we can hide this one to junk. So we got this leg, we can adjust it a little bit like that, okay? And that's fine. And then we're gonna do the same thing here. So let's grab this face, Shift D, P to its own selection, select the face, and A to select it, go to side view and literally extrude it down. And the same thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna select this, move cursor here, select the side view, 7, and we're literally gonna rotate it on cursor. So R and rotate it down until it more or less meets our leg angle. Let's see how we're looking. Let's remove this one. So junk and see how we're looking. Yeah, we're looking pretty peachy. So let's move this a little bit up so it kind of gets out of this, you know, opening. It makes sense. Yeah, I like it. See, this tripod looks pretty badass. So let's mirror this across now. Let's move the mirror up and mirror it across this element, and we peachy. So we will of course slice these legs and, you know, do all kinds of stuff with them, but I don't even think we need subdivision here, to be honest. And the bevel, we might do it separately. So, and we remove probably these. We're gonna do it manually anyway, so we can leave it for now. But that would be this part of the scope, and I mean of the tripod. So that looks pretty good in my opinion. Now let's see how we're looking on the level, which means if the legs are actually, you know, on the same level. They're not, which means this needs to be longer. So SC, can we do it this way? Let's grab this face and go to custom orientation and side view and SC. Nope. Y, that's the one. So is it the one? SY. Not really. Okay, fine. Let's do it differently. Side view. And literally let's extrude it down. And then simply delete this this loop. There you go. So now it matches and sort of stands on the floor, which is what I wanted. So now the legs are equal. Perfect. So let's save it. Now this one needs to be, now there are two ways of doing it, okay? One way we could go with a ball tripod mount head, just like you know, we do it for like heavy cameras in photography, and these legs could be on a different height level, so either higher or lower. I'm not decided yet. So what we could do is simply run a quad sphere in here, subdivide it once or even twice. It's really smooth, because I want this thing to be smooth, and move it somewhere here to the middle of it. So to select it and move it there, and GZ and make it larger. So this ball should be kind of like mounted somewhere here, right? And then the tripod would be, scrap everything, and the tripod would be literally mounted in the middle or like front part of this plate, like this. And this should be shorter, but actually larger, like this. And GZ, and let's see if it's not too large. Maybe it's a little bit too large. Yeah, see, this could work. So we could do something like this. You could have some kind of like a display here that would show you electronically the level. Or we could simply, what we could do, this would be actually really interesting. We could run some kind of we could attach some kind of electronic device to this tripod, maybe to a leg, and run a cable to the gun, or maybe to, or maybe it could be even differently. Maybe the mount could have some kind of a plug that would connect to the gun and feed the information of the leveling of the plane and levels of this tripod, so the gun actually sits straight, which means, because it's a ball head, right, so you could move it left and right and, you know, tilt it, swivel it, whatever, and you want to shoot straight. So this could be electronically corrected in a way, but this looks pretty cool in my opinion. I like it. So this would be a blockout of the tripod, and in the next video we're gonna talk about detailing this thing. Okay, thanks for watching, catch you in the next video.